love lives here.
And now I have the honor of introducing our guest speaker today. She really needs no introduction. We're so blessed to have her at this center. But here's a little bit about Dr. Naima. She's a board-certified family practice physician who uses the integrative approach in her practice of medicine. She has had extensive training in psychology as a marriage, family, and child therapist. She's also had training in master etheric healing. She's a licensed spiritual practitioner emeritus, having practiced for 27 years. She has a deep regard for the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual needs of people of all ages, from newborns to geriatrics. Dr. Naima is a lecturer and workshop facilitator on the topic of spirituality and the practice of medicine. Dr. Naima's mission is to add to the quality of one's life and overall well-being by emphasizing the importance of healing the body and mind through spirit. So let's just give a rousing welcome to Dr. Naima.
Thank you all. Okay, the mic is working, no noises. First, I want to thank Reverend Jeff for allowing me to participate in this month's theme, Living Everyday Wonder, the Body. And the topics for each week has been, to me, totally incredible. I wasn't here the first week, but I listened to it online. And that was Welcome to the Temple. And when Reverend Jeff reminded us that we are made in the image and likeness of God, that our body represents the divinity of God, and each individual body is a temple of the divine. The sentence or the statement that he made during that week that I absolutely loved was that each body or everybody is whole and holy. That says it all there in a nutshell. We are all whole and holy, regardless of what we think we may be going through. And the second week we did Love in the Body, or Love Your Body. That was special to me. And the best part that I remember throughout the week, you know what I'm getting ready to do, right? Okay. From my fingers to the toes, on my lips, from my belly to my booty, the curves of my hips. I am beautiful. I'm beautiful. That stayed with me all week. I had so much fun with that. So I'm glad you did it. And he's laughing, but I had so much fun with it. And my topic today, the body remembers. And that is such an important aspect because this body here it's incredible, it's magical. And it knows everything that it needs to do to take care of itself. It does things that we still, in modern science, don't fully understand. But we know it's God. We know that every cell, every organ, every system synchronizes together to work with each other so that this body functions perfectly all the time. Now, there may be some stuff that interferes with it, but this is a perfect machine right here because it is made in the image and likeness of God. So, what does the body remember? The body remembers absolutely everything, good, bad, or indifferent. it remembers. So, and it's how we respond to those emotions and how we prioritize those feelings and emotions that the universe, through the laws of cause and effect and the law of attraction, responds to us. It is done unto us as we believe. Okay, so there's some groundwork that I'm going to do here, and you might have heard this before from me. Disease, 5 aspects of disease. Something happens on the spiritual level, some physical trauma or emotional trauma, and what that does, even if it's just for a second, it separates us from spirit. It separates us from our spiritual divinity. That happens, and that separation goes into the mental level and starts playing. Okay, so this happens, then as a consequence of that happened, then this thing over here must happen. We develop a mental equivalent. And if it just stopped there, it would be okay. Because we can make the mental equivalent through our work disappear, but it doesn't. It goes into the emotional level, and that's where fear and the children of fear take over. And those are some little strong boogers right there. So fear says, okay, if this happened, that happens, the consequences right here, and I'm gonna kick your butt, okay? And then we have anxiety, we get depression, we get guilt, we get resentment, all those things build up. And it then goes into the etheric level. Let me go back to the mental and the emotional working together. As an adult, we can kind of rationalize it a little bit and try to stay on top of it. Children, which is where most of the mental and physical and emotional trauma take place, they can't. They're egocentric. That means, as far as they're concerned, everything that happens is because of them. So when I cry, someone goes away and doesn't come back. If I don't eat enough of my food, or if I eat too much food, then daddy gets mad. And a whole issue with feeding and food comes up, which later gives us a whole lot of gastro-GI problems. So we need to understand, and they can't explain it. They just store it. They just store it, and the body remembers. The body remembers that when I cry, or if I talk too much, mommy goes and hides, and she starts crying. The children thinks it's all happening because of them, and these subtle emotions, these subtle feelings gets pushed down into the body and later gets interpreted as some sort of condition, disease, emotional, physical. That's where it starts. It's most important with our children, what we tell our children, how we react to our children, and how we need to make sure that the children don't take the responsibility of adult behavior. Okay, so that's the emotional. And then it goes into the etheric. I believe in the etheric body, so I know what happens when the emotional gets built up so much and embodies all this. It moves into the etheric body, and that's where we start getting all the aches and pains, or the back starts hurting, or we're just not feeling good. We're tired, we're fatigued. I have patients coming in all the time and I don't know, something's wrong. And we do all the tests, and the test is what? Negative, normal. And no, there have to be something. They have to be something. And sometimes someone say to me, yeah, it is. You're going to create it, because you want something to be wrong. But that's just the etheric body saying, hey, pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on within your body. Pay attention to the feelings and the emotions. Don't keep pushing them down. Because when we don't deal with what's happening on the etheric level and take care of the emotional or mental, then we get the physical problems. We get the heart problems. We get the cancer. We get all kinds of things. And some of these things could be really catastrophic. Okay, so that's the process of disease. So let's talk about healing versus cure. And Reverend Jeff did a wonderful synopsis of it during his first lecture, Loving the Body. Well, welcome to the temple. Okay, so the healing. The healing is a multidimensional process that realigns the physical, the etheric, the emotional, and mental with the spiritual body. It enables us or allows us to go a little deeper into the process that might have been causing the discomfort in the first place. A cure controls the symptoms, controls the aches and pains, controls the manifestation of the blood pressure or the diabetes. It controls the symptoms, but most of the time it doesn't get to the core of why the symptom appeared in the first place. So what happens, or the example that Reverend Jeff gave, which is excellent, that a lot of times there may be a healing, but not a cure. And I'm going to explain that a little bit more, not saying you didn't explain it good, but I'm going to put my little tidbit to it. With the disease comes, it can be a catastrophic disease, what we call catastrophic disease, stage 4, multi-med cancer, that every doctor that I've sent you to said, nothing we can do. Okay, so when I say it's time to get your affairs in order, that means it's time to allow the healing to begin. Whatever is left unsettled, whatever is left undone, it's time for you to take care of it. Like Reverend Jeff said, settling differences with a sibling or a parent, et cetera, it's time to get that done. That's the healing right there. So to me, at that point, when or if that person makes the transition, because we don't know, that healing might have been enough to clear what was going on in the first place. But on the physical level, but healing in some instances may be a transition. That's God's healing for that person. And know that the lessons that person learned during that healing, that means they don't have to come back and do it all over again. They learned that lesson. Okay, so they can come back into a new story and don't have to replay over and over again the old story until they get it right. Okay, so another way with the cure and the little Band-Aid scenario that I use sometimes. This boy, he gets a new skateboard. He loves his skateboard. He's like, oh, I can go all over now. So he keeps going, and he keeps falling, and he scrapes himself. And every time he scrapes himself, he puts another Band-Aid on. And eventually, he's all covered with Band-Aids, head to toe. So his friend comes, what is wrong? The sidewalk, my shoes, my balance, the cars. He has reasons why he keeps falling. His friends, can I look at that skateboard? So he looks at the skateboard and he said, all those other things we talked about, yeah, it could have been, but your wheels are crooked. Okay, so they take it to an expert, mom, who fixed the wheels, and the boy doesn't have to experience the same thing over and over again. He now can get on his skateboard and ride all around, and he's not falling. He doesn't need any more Band-Aids. Sometimes we do that Band-Aid healing. We go to all these different people, all these different physicians, chiropractors, whoever, and we get the Band-Aid. But we don't look, we're not willing to make the changes that it takes. The lifestyle changes, the mental work, the spiritual work that it takes to bring those emotions, those feelings up to the forefront and work them out. Now, I am not saying that we have to be fixated on the negativity of the past, because we all know that we are whole, perfect, and complete. Past is the past until it becomes the present. Okay, so it's important for us to begin that process of bringing up those emotions, bringing up those feelings, and looking at them, looking at fear and saying, okay, so I know you're there. I may not know how you got there in the first place, but you're there. But today, I choose to forgive it, whatever it was, and to let it go. I choose to do, like that restore on the computer, where something's wrong with your computer, you can restore it, and all of a sudden you're back to where you're supposed to be. I choose to press the restore and reset button. And a lot of times that's difficult for us to do on our own, because the stuff that bottled up in there for a year, two, some cases 50, 60 years, it looks nasty, because it's covered with not only of what happened at that moment, but it also has everything else that has been compounded on it. So the mental equivalent that we got from the beginning now has this cement, this emotional cement that we have to break away, so we get to a point of knowing and feeling that we absolutely are perfect in all aspects. In all aspects. It doesn't matter what we think might be wrong or this or that. We have to know the absolute truth. It has to become our reality that we are whole, perfect, and complete. It does not matter that my back is hurting. I'll take care of that. It does not matter that someone has told me that I have Parkinson's. I'll take care of that. So we have to get to that point of knowingness that everything that is happening with us is happening for a reason. Not only is it happening for a reason, but when we made a contract to come back here, We said, we're going to experience this, that, and this, and that. I want this body because this body is going to be the best vehicle for me to express what I need to express in this time, in this dimension. Okay, so sometimes it's hard for us to understand that, but way back then, we chose it. Now, God gives us free will and choice. So there were several different ways that this could have gone. Okay, we made the choice. And what I need you to understand is that every day we make that choice. Every day, regardless of what has happened in the past, when we wake up in the morning, we have the choice. We have free will. We have the choice of saying, oh, thank you, God. Thank you for another day. I am ready. Let's go. Or we can say, damn it. Excuse me. I'm in church. we can say, I don't want to do this. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to go to the job. I don't want to see those people. That's the choice we make. So these emotions, these overlays, they come in spirit, says, okay, she's really happy about this day. She's really happy about getting up and going. Let me give her more things to be happy about. So tomorrow she thanks me some more. Or, she has some pretty intense feelings about not getting out of bed and what's going to happen to her. And she just, let me give her some more of that. Spirit works on us as we believe. Period. Negative, positive, spirit is neutral. It goes according to the intensity, the strength of the emotion that you're putting out. Okay. So, we talk about healing and cure. We talk about disease. We kind of understand all of that. Now we're going to go to, okay, so what is the best way to kind of manifest this healing process, this wholeness, this fullness that you're talking about? Yes, we do our prayer and meditation, and we get to that point of saying, I trust God no matter what. Must be able to say that. I trust God no matter what. And you move through, and things happen. It's like, I don't know why, but I trust God. And you let it go through. You don't get stuck with it. And the most important aspect of this whole thing, the most important aspect of healing is what? Can someone tell me? Prayer. But something that we have to do on a personal level. Trust and believe. Yes. Let go? Yes. Let go. And how do we let go? There you go. Forgiveness. That is the most important aspect of healing. Because if we're holding ill feelings against anyone, but especially if we're holding ill feelings against ourselves, you cannot experience God's fullness, God's completeness, God's perfection. So that is the number one thing. My prayer of forgiveness allows me on a spiritual level to get past whatever it is that's causing the disease, the illness. We're able to say, okay, anger, okay, fear. Because I know, just like Louise Hayes know, that is the emotional trauma that causes or that allows the condition to manifest in the first place. So we have to be real clear that forgiveness has to be the most important thing in our work. Now, I think, and there's tons of different methods of forgiveness, and I think last time I was here, I did give one where I had to say, you take the situation, you take the person, or whatever, the friend, the ex-friend, the parent, and you say, I love you, I forgive you, and I thank God for you. Because without that experience, you wouldn't be the person that you are today. You wouldn't learn the lessons that you needed to learn, so you can express the fullness of God at every time. So it's important to know that these folks that might have come into your life, because we know that no one comes into our life accidentally. Everyone who comes into our life has a purpose and a lesson to teach us. And if you don't learn it, what's going to happen? They're going to keep coming in different shapes, different forms, but they're going to keep coming until we learn that lesson. Okay, so when someone does think they do something to you and you don't like it, forgive them. Don't hold on to it. Because if you hold on to it, that just causes the problem. And, last year you heard me holding on to stuff and what happened to me. I ended up on an OR getting stents placed in my heart because I was congested. I was holding on to it. I was pissed and couldn't allow, because even after I left that facility and came here, I was still holding on to it. Hey, that ain't gonna happen to me again. So it's important for us to let go of things. So when the emotion comes up, we have to say, okay, so what is it that you're trying to tell me? What is it that you want me to do? What is it that you need me to know? Rather than suppressing it and say, I'm not dealing with you right now. And no, we don't have to dwell on the past and be obsessed with it, and we don't ignore it. We recognize it for what it is, and we allow ourselves to be transformed by it. Now, that's hard to do. Some of us able to do it. Other times, you need a minister, you need a practitioner, you need a best friend that can see you as God sees you, a pastor. You need someone else to hold you in that space while you are working through the different issues that might have been suppressed in the body. Because if we don't take care of those issues, I can guarantee you will get sick. Every time I'm up here or I speak anywhere, I always say, the past is a dungeon of disease. If you live in the past, you will get sick. End of it. So it's important for us to be in that place of being willing to look at the past and to forgive it. And to know that it brought you to this place, but now it's time to press that restore button so you're receptive and open to knowing the absolute truth that you are made in the image and likeness of God, that all that God is you. And as you stand right here in the here and now, there is nothing, no condition, no person, no circumstance that could interfere with God's expression through you as wholeness, as completeness. Nothing at all can interfere with that. Okay. Many of us get caught up in what if? What if? Well, what if this happens? And what if I do all of this and nothing changes? What if? Okay, so God does not deal with what if. Now, I like to tell stories. I said I wasn't going to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I was teaching this student, a medical student, and she went in the room to see a patient, a boy who was coughing and passed out from coughing. And she went in the room and she came out and told me the story. The boy was coughing. He was coughing so hard he threw up. The dog started barking. Mom came in the room because the dog was barking and the boy was passed out. So she was telling the mom, the boy's fine right now. He was looking good and everything. Okay, so it happened. He choked and, but it came up, you were there, everything happened okay. That didn't satisfy the mom. So she came out, I said, okay, so let's give her this placebo. We're going to tell her she can do this, do that. And she came back out after 10 minutes and said, she's what ifing. I said, what do you mean? She said, she's what ifing. I said, okay, so I said, let me go in, okay. You're done, you're the medical student, let me go in. And the mom had this whole story. Well, what if he's coughing and I don't hear him? What if he's coughing and the dog isn't around? And she was going, and there was nothing I can tell her to calm her down until I said, you know what? As soon as you hear him cough next time, call 911 or go to the ER. And she was satisfied with that. It's like, okay. And this poor kid, he's a teenage boy. He's like this and shaking his head and laughing. He's fine. He ate something, choked. The coughing actually helped. I kept telling her the coughing helped him bring it up. So, but he's fine. But she was having no parts of it. She wanted me to say, call 911. Okay, so Spirit has also given us a 911, and that's the stillness of our mind. That's where we can go and know beyond a shadow of a doubt that we are whole, perfect, and complete. We can claim our wholeness. We can claim that well-being, prosperity, peace, harmony, those are divine birthrights. That's who we are. Simply by being children of God, simply by having these sacred body temples, that's who we are. That's what God designed us, for us. So don't be afraid to use that temple. Have the body temple use that sacred place, the stillness of the mind, because that is our ER. That is where we need to go to get the care, the spiritual care, to get the spiritual healing that we need. Because fear and the children of fear, all those emotions, fear, children of fear, guilt, resentment, anger, jealousy, all those that kind of build up, they immobilize us. We can't do what we need to do if we're chained by these past emotions that are embedded in our bodies. We can't. So we have to recognize that we have two wonderful tools. We have the body and we have the mind, and they're always working together. So we have to recognize not that we can use the mind to make the effects that we want in the body, but we could always also use the body to change the effects of the mind. And we have to know that those two things work together. Okay, so we don't want to get into a place of being immobilized by a past fear. Get a practitioner, talk to your minister, talk to someone, work with someone who can see you in your true light. Don't go to someone that's going to co-sign with you. Girl, I know you're right. I know you're right. Yeah, he did what? You don't want someone who's going to co-sign with you. You want someone that's going to be with you and say, yeah, no, let's move right here. Let's move to the truth. Let's move to that place of knowing that we don't have to deal with this in this level. Okay? God would always remove from us that which no longer serves us if we're ready to let it go. And we have to know and say, okay, I see you there, fear, but guess what? I don't need you anymore. So I'm going to let you go. I'm going to forgive it and let it go. And that is not easy. Know that the best, the most proficient healer, physician in your life is your higher self. Okay, so what I want my patients to know, and many physicians, contrary to popular beliefs, are like that. We know that what we're doing is a temporary fix. We know this. We know we're giving you this pill, this injection, this treatment, until the body can say, okay, I understand. This is what I need you to, this is what I need to do. We're just holding the space. A lot of times with the patients that come in, well, you know, my blood pressure, I need this, I need that. Someone told me I need this, I need that. Okay, we can do that. But what you also need to do is lose weight, stop drinking, stop smoking, and start exercising. Those are the lifestyle changes that's needed. And when those lifestyle changes start, you start feeling better about yourself. You start feeling good about yourself. You know, so last time I always had a little update. I'm sorry, a little update. But I told you about this gentleman who was 67 years old, and he came to me, he was a new patient, and said, I'm living on borrowed time. All the males in my family died in their early 60s. I'm living on borrowed time. And I look at his blood pressure, look at his blood sugar, like, well, yeah, you are. You know, but he's been coming, and I've been seeing him on a regular basis. His blood sugar is down, his blood pressure is down, and he had another birthday. He's 68 years old. That means he's 2 years from being 70. And what we have decided is that he's going to create a new legacy for himself and his sons. That he no longer have to say, they don't have to say, if all the males in my family died in their 60s. A new legacy is being created. It took a long time. And one time, he left the office and he turned to me and said, I know what you're trying to do. You know, you try to get me in my 70s, huh? Yeah, you're right. So, but, on that level of me holding that space for him, regardless of what he was saying to me, I knew better. I saw him as God sees him, and I know, and we're taught in religious science that it's done unto us as we believe, but also we as practitioners, physicians, I also know that we can hold the space for that person until they get there. And I held that space for him because he wasn't dying in his 60s on my watch. Somebody else's, but not mine. So he's doing extremely well. So that was the update, because after last time someone said, whatever happened to him? It's like, that was my first time. So that's the update. He's doing extremely well. Okay, so the affirmation for this week, the body remembers, is I feel and honor every sensation of the body. I feel and honor every sensation of the body. And I am going to do a quick process with you. I know I'm running out of time. I apologize. We'll get that up later. Okay, so I just want everybody to relax. Make sure both feet are on the floor. And I'm going to do a different kind of scan. And I just want you to take 3 deep breaths. And sense that universal light, that universal love entering through the crown chakra, on the top of your head, the I am chakra. And just stay there for a few seconds. This is where the upper brain, your visual is. And just feel the sensations in there. Whatever comes up, don't judge it. Just allow it to be. And we're going to slowly move to the third eye chakra, the brow chakra. The affirmation of that chakra is, I know. And it is responsible for the ear, the nose, the nervous system, the left eye, and the lower brain, the brain stem. And feel the white light transforming into a deep blue, an indigo color. Feel that color. That's a healing color for that chakra. And allow that chakra to be filled with this color, transformed for the white light. Feel the sensations. Don't judge it. We're going to give thanks for the information, and then we're going to move down to the throat chakra, the I believe chakra. The color is a bright blue. And allow the white light to fill that chakra with that blue color. And that's the chakra responsible for the bronchial tubes, the lungs, the vocal cords, the esophagus. Feel the sensation of the chakra. We're going to honor that sensation. We say thank you and we move to the next chakra, which is your heart, the I love chakra. And that's responsible for your heart, the blood, the circulation, and the parasympathetic nervous system. That color is green or pink. And we allow the color that you choose to just feel that chakra. Feel the sensation as each organ within that chakra is touched by that green or pink light. Notice what's occurring. Say thank you, move to the solar plexus, and that's the area between the heart and the umbilicus, the belly button. That is the solar plexus. The affirmation is I think. And that's responsible for the pancreas, the liver, the stomach, the spleen. And allow that white light to transfer or to transmute into the yellow color of the chakra. Feel the sensations as each organ is filled with that healing yellow color. We notice what's going on. We say thank you and we move to the second chakra, which is the sacral chakra, I experience. And that involves your lower GI tract, the adrenal glands, and the kidneys. Represents your power and your will. And allow the white light to transmute into the orange color of the chakra. Feel the sensation as that color feels that chakra touching the liver, touching the kidney, the lower GI, and the adrenals. Feel it. Feel the sensation. Honor what's going on there. I experience. Thank you for the information, and we're going to move to the root chakra, which is at the base of the spine. The affirmation is I exist. It is the chakra that deals with the reproductive system and the bladder. The issues that pop up here sometimes is one of survival. I exist. And we allow the white light to transmute into the red color of the chakra, allowing it to just fill that area and strengthen that affirmation, I exist. And we thank that chakra. And take 3 deep breaths. And etherically, I am closing everyone's chakra. The first to the second, the third. I'm closing and protecting each chakra. The fourth, the heart. The fifth, your truth chakra, the throat chakra. The sixth, your third eye, close and protect. In the crown. We do not close our crown chakra, but we do protect it. Take another 3 deep breaths. And gently return to the sanctuary. Thank you, Father, for the gift of it. Thank you. So that was a very quick rundown. When you do this naturally, this is going to take more than the 5 minutes it took here, because you're going to stay within that chakra. You're going to truly feel the sensation. You're going to listen to the story. And sometimes the stories can be intense, but you're going to listen. You're not going to judge it. You might have people coming through saying this, saying that. You're not going to judge. You're just going to listen to what that chakra is telling you. And then when it's done, you're going to write it down and take it into meditation with you. I don't recommend doing this more than once a month, every 21 days. They have to be 21 days between each session. And that's to give the chakra and to give the organs time to make whatever changes there that's going to happen. So I would not recommend doing this more than every 21 days. And know that if you have a problem, Tamara's looking at me, she knows what I'm getting ready to say. If you have a problem or you want someone to help you maybe interpret what you've seen, we have some etheric healers in the congregation. Tamara is one of the etheric healers, as is Mara Allen. She's not here. And I am also in etheric healing. So if something comes up and it's unsettling and you just can't get through it with meditation, give one of us a call, or shoot your little things that you wrote down about it to us, and we will take care of it. So no. The most important aspect of all of this is what Ernest Holmes taught. There is nothing to heal, only truth to be revealed. Okay? There is nothing to heal, only truth to be revealed. Only what's going on in the bottom, finding out, taking care of it, and again, I can't stress enough, work with a practitioner. If you're having a challenge, a serious health challenge, you need to be working with a practitioner. Okay, so love, forgiveness is the key to health and well-being. And remember, we chose these bodies. We chose these bodies because it was the best vehicle for us to do what we needed to do in this time and dimension. Honor them. Honor them. Thank you. And I'm going to have the practitioners and the ministers and the core council and whoever else stands around the sanctuary to go ahead and stand around the sanctuary. And how wonderful it is, how good it is to know beyond the shadow of a doubt that there is only one life, one mind, one power, one God, and we are intimately connected with it. There is no separation between the one life, the one power, the one mind, the one God in us. We are in a space of knowing that with every step we take it knowingly, fully aware that the absolute truth is that we are one with the most magnificent force. And it is always expressing through us as wholeness, as perfection, as completeness. It is always expressing through us. So there's nothing that we need to be concerned about here. We can see the different parts of our body and says, yes, God loves you. God loves you. And it's expressing through you right now. Whether it's the heart, the pancreas, the colon, the lungs, we say to it, God loves you. And the perfection of God is expressing right now. And with every breath we take, we know that it's God breathing through us. So we inhale the perfection of God. We inhale peace and harmony. We inhale knowing that all is right in our lives. And we exhale those old attitudes, those old beliefs, those old stories that no longer serve us. We exhale fear. We exhale guilt, resentment, anger. We exhale it all and breathe in the perfection of God. This is occurring in our lives each and every moment. We are expressing the perfection of God at all times. And we're willing to make whatever mental or emotional changes to allow the physical body to remember its perfection, to remember its wholeness. This is what I am knowing to be the absolute truth. This is my reality and is the reality of each and every person that is hearing these words. Our individual temples, divine expression of God. Sacred body temple represents all of God all the time. So we leave here today knowing that there is no condition, no circumstance that we don't have control over. We have control over it because we surrender our control to God, and God is taking care of it. This is what I'm knowing to be the truth. This is what I'm sensing and believing to be the reality, not the fact, but the reality of my true nature. Thank you, Father, Mother God. Thank you for this opportunity of using me to express these words of healing, to express the words of wholeness and completeness. God is, and that's all that matters. God is my truth. God is my reality. God is, I am, God is. And with total confidence that the healing that is needed for each and every individual is done. It's done in the mind of God, it's done in my mind, and it's done in the mind of the individual. I'm happy I'm doing a J. Healing is here, wholeness is here, completeness is here. Thank you, God. And so I release this word into the universal medium, knowing that it cannot return to me void. For it is truly the words of God speaking through me. So it's a done deal. It's a done prayer. All is well. All is God. All is good. And we lovingly say, and so it is. Thank you.
Love